Smokey and I were very sad to see Flashback Monday come to an end. We were also very sad to see And the Winner Is come to an end. But now we are going to move forward for a few weeks and we're going to work on new releases. Now, oh, thank you. If you haven't watched all of these lovely reviews, I started with 2007. We ended with July 2016. And I hope this table isn't too bad. It's a little on the wobbly side. We are proceeding now. We did And the Winner Is for 13, 14, 15. Because there was no 17, there were no winners for 16. So unfortunately, that's how it goes. Oh, and by the way, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina K-R-I-S-T-I-N-A. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy stuff going on here. And I am disappointed, but we are going to proceed with August 2016 new releases. I haven't figured out what I'm gonna do when I get to the further ones, but we have 3, 2. I just dropped the book on my foot. Where'd she go? All right. I'm taking your bed. I need a table. You're not here. All right. Okay. So, it's not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Okay. First 3 are pictures. So Grizzly, picture. Yasmin Galnorn, Flight from Mayhem, August of 2016. I'm Shimmer, a blue dragon shifter. Thanks to a mistake, I was exiled from Dragon Reaches and sentenced to work for gorgeous, exasperating Alex Radcliffe, a vampire who owns the fly-by-night magical investigation agency. Every time I turn around, someone's trying to kill us. But you know what they say, all's fair in love and bounty hunting. A serial killer is stalking the elderly Fae of Seattle, draining their bank accounts before brutally murdering them. When Chase Johnson asks for our help, Alex and I discover the psychopath is also a shifter, able to change shape to match his victim's deepest desires. Our friend and colleague Betty volunteers to act as bait, but the plan goes awry. Now, unless we find her first, she's about to face her worst nightmare. Huh. Not good. Not good. Not good. The other one, John Connolly, A Time of Torment. Jerome Burnell was once a hero. He intervened to prevent multiple killings and in doing so damned himself. His life was torn apart. He was imprisoned and brutalized. But in his final days with the hunter circling, he tells his story to Private Detective Charlie Parker. He speaks of the girl who was marked for death but was saved, of the ones who tormented him, and the entity that hides in a ruined stockade. Parker is not like other men. He died and was reborn. He's ready to wage war. Now he will descend upon a strange, isolated community called the Cut and face down a force of men who rule by terror, intimidation, and murder. All in the name of the being they serve. All in the name of the dead king. Sounds a little eerie to me. Excuse me. Sorry. Okay. The last picture. The Highlander by Carrie Brine. In Highlander, a stunning, gorgeous Victorian romance from Carrie Brine can be the fiercest master of battle conquer a woman's heart. They call him the Demon Highlander. The fearsome Lieutenant Colonel Liam Mackenzie is known for his human strength. towering presence and fiery passion in the heat of battle. As laird to the Mackenzie clan, the undefeated Marquis has vanquished his foes with all rage and wrath of his barbaric Highland ancestors. But when an English governess arrives to care for his children, the master of war finds himself up against his greatest opponent, the game of love. Are you coming back? Are you coming back? Okay. All right. Now, I read this author the other day, last month actually, and I was like, I don't know. We'll see, but this is a different series. A Story to Kill, a Kat Latimer series. Former English professor Kat Latimer is back in Colorado hosting writers' retreat in the big Victorian she's inherited, much to her surprise, from none other than her carousing ex-husband. Now it's an author's getaway, but Kat won't let anyone get away with murder. The bed and breakfast is open for business, and best-selling author Tom Cook is among the first guests. Kat doesn't know why he came all the way from New York, but she's glad to have him among the quirkier and far less famous attendees. Kat's high school sweetheart Seth, who's fixing up the weathered home, brings in mixed emotions for Kat. Some of them a little overpowering, but it's her uncle, the local police chief, whom she'll call for help when there's a surprise ending for Tom Cook in his cozy guest room. Will his killer have the last word? Let me see. Let me see. Sorry for shaking the table. Just a minute. Just a minute. There you go. No special editing here. Alright, so where was I? I was gonna look this other one up and I forgot. Murder in the Secret Garden. There's a hidden garden bordering the grounds of Jane Stewart's book-themed resort. A garden filled with beautiful but deadly plants such as mandrake and nightshade, tucked away behind ivy-covered walls and accessible only through a single locked door. As described in the pages of Frances Hodges Burnett's classic novel, the garden is of special interest to Jane's current group of guests. The medieval herbalist, but when one of them turns up dead, Jane must discover whether a member of the group has come to Storyton Hall to celebrate their passion to plant or to implement a particularly cruel means of murder. And the last one for this set. Sarah Humphries, Trouble Walks In. And I pointed out in the other videos that when I think of Sarah, I think of vampires. I don't think of contemporary romance. I don't think of Regencies. I think of vampires. And I pointed that out in the last video. Big canine cop Ronan McGuire loves women, loves dogs, loves his job. But when an old flame, Maddie Morgan, moves into his jurisdiction, he can't think about anyone else. Rowan knows she's only way out of his league, but he's determined to help Maddie live life to the fullest. In more ways than one. With tragedy in her past, Maddie has immersed herself in work and swiftly made a name for herself in the hot New York City real estate market. She's looking for safety, not love. But Ronan McGuire is as persistent as he is sexy. And he's going to be hard to resist. See what happens there. What? You want some papers? You want some papers to play with? She's the paper queen. You put anything under the paper, you put a hair ribbon, anything, and she'll spend hours. No cuteness today? No cuteness? Alright, so, just gonna go through these. We've done a couple of these books before. I've seen them before in, a whole bunch of different videos we've done. But, Colleen Hoover, It Ends With Us. God, these books are still selling like hotcakes today. You know, don't fight the past here. Don't fight the past. These books are still good. These authors are still going. Lily hasn't always had it easy, but that's never stopped her from working hard for the life she wants. She's come a long way from the small town of Boston where she grew up. She graduated from college, moved to Boston, and started her own business. So when she feels a spark with gorgeous neurosurgeon Ryle Kincaid, everything in Lily's life suddenly seems almost too good to be true. Ryle is assertive, stubborn, maybe even a little arrogant. He's also sensitive, brilliant, and has a total soft spot for Lily. But Riley's complete aversion to relationships is disturbing. As questions about her new relationship overwhelm us, so do thoughts of Atlas Corrigan, her first love, and a link to the past she left behind. He was her kindred spirit, her protector, but Atlas suddenly reappears. Everything Lily has built with Ryle is threatened. So, does she choose guy A or guy B? Is it A or B? Have to read the book to find out. Another lady that has been on this channel quite often. I wish everybody would. If you're looking for a book to read and you're tired of Googling, would you please D. Louise book series If Then? If Then Vampires, If Then Werewolves, If Then Cozy Thanksgiving, Cozy Halloween, forensics. We're going to be doing that again. We're going to be doing forensics again. Lawyers, Native American authors, Black authors, vampires, Scotland Yard, pirates that make you faint, Regencies. We've done them all. And hey, this woman has come up a few times in the knitting category of cozy. In the U.S., the Monday Bunch and other local knitters are participating in a fundraising auction to save a community center, creating a growing pile of stuffed animals and toys right in front of the auctioneers as the audience bids. Among those contributing the most knitted goods is temperamental businesswoman Maddie O'Leary, who keels over halfway through the event. After she is pronounced dead away, an autopsy reveals that Maddie had been poisoned. But how and by who? August was a good month. I don't know. Let's see. The Invisible Life of Ivan. I have no idea. "17-year-old Ivan is a lifelong resident of Mazer Hospital for Gravely Ill Children in Belsaris. Born deformed yet mentally keen with a frightening sharp wit, strong intellect, and a voracious appetite for books, Ivan is forced to interact with the world through the vivid prism of his mind. For the most part, every day is exactly the same for Ivan, which is why he turns everything into a game, manipulating people and events around him for his own amusement. That is until a new resident named Paulina arrives at the hospital. At first, Ivan resents Paulina. She steals his books. She challenges routine. The nurses like her. She's exquisite, but soon he cannot help being drawn to her, and two forge a romance that is tenuous, beautiful, and everything they dare dream of. The 1517 to Paris. On August 21st, 2015, AU boarded train 9364 in Brussels bound for Paris. There could be no doubt about his mission. He had an AK-47, a pistol, a box cutter, and enough ammunition to obliterate every passenger on board. Slipping into the bathroom in secret, he armed his weapons. Another major ISIS attack was about to begin. Kazan wasn't expecting Anthony Sadler and Spencer Stone. Stone was a martial arts enthusiast and an airman first in the class U.S. Air Force. Scalatos was a member of Oregon National Guard, and all three were fearless. But their decision to change the gunman, then overpower him as he turned first gun, then his knife on stone, depended on a lifetime of loyalty, faith, and support. It's a true story. Yikes. What? Yes. What? Apparently, she woke her daddy up in the middle of the night for food. And he got up and he fixed her plate. She sniffed it, walked off, and said no thank you. She's gonna wait for daddy's breakfast, which will be in 2 hours, which she's really not supposed to have, but she'll have it anyway, because daddy will give it to her, because he's a mush. Colleen Hoke recreated. Lily Young thought traveling across the globe was a reawakened Egyptian prince was a grand adventure. Now she's about to embark on the journey of a lifetime. When Eamon and Lily part tragically, Eamon transports himself to the netherworld, where mortals call hell. Tormented by the loss of his one true love, he'd rather suffer in agony during Lily's mortal years than fulfill his duty to protect humanity. Heartbroken, Lily seeks refuge on her grandmother's farm, yet she can feel Eamon's pain, and she has been having dreams of Eamon continually suffering. Before he departed, Annan gave Lily something very special, an item that connects them even though they are worlds apart. Now Lily must use this object to free him and to release the realms from darkness and utter chaos. What do you think? What do you think? We need a kitty cat cam. We need a kitty cat cam. I'm planning on reading this lady at some point. Lisa Scottoline, damaged. 10-year-old Patrick O'Brien is a natural target at school, shy, dyslexic, and small for his age. He tries to hide his first-grade reading level from everyone, from his classmates, from his grandfather who cares for him, and from the teachers who are supposed to help him. But the real trouble begins when Patrick is accused of attacking a school aide. The aide promptly quits and sues the boy, his family, and the school district. Patrick's grandfather turns to law firm of Rosetto and Denozo for help. And Mary Denozo is on the case. Soon Mary becomes Patrick's true champion and his only hope for security and justice. There's more to this case than meets the eye. When I do my Constitution display at the library every September, I have one of those miniature houses that you put under the Christmas tree, only this one's about this big and this wide. It's of Independence Hall, and I do the Hamilton theme. The room where it happened, the place where it happened, the people that made it happen. That's my theme. Elizabeth Cobb's The Hamilton Affair. Set against the dramatic backdrop of the American Revolution and featuring a cast of legendary characters, The Hamilton Affair tells the sweeping, tumultuous, true story of Alexander Hamilton and Elizabeth Schuyler, from passion and tender beginnings to his fateful duel on the banks of the Hudson River. Hamilton was a bastard and an orphan raised in the Caribbean, and despite for legitimacy, who became one of the American Revolution's most dashing and improbable heroes. Admired by George Washington, scorned by Thomas Jefferson, Hamilton was a lightning rod, the most controversial leader of the new nation. Elizabeth was the wealthy, beautiful, adventurous daughter of the respectable Schuyler clan, and pioneering advocate for women. Together, the unlikely couple braved the dangers of war, the perils of seduction, the anguish of infidelity, and the scourge of partisanship that menaced their family and the country itself. I keep looking at these and taken aback, and I look at these and take him back, and I don't know. I'll figure it out one day. Michael Jenks, Rebellion's Message. January 1554. Light-fingered Jack Black knows he's not going to have a good day when he wakes up with a sore head next to a dead body in a tavern yard. That would be bad enough when he discovers what's in the dead man's purse, the one he'd stolen. His day is set to get much worse. The purse explains why the mysterious man with the broad-brimmed hat wants to catch him, but so does the Lord Chancellor, so does the enigmatic Henry. In fact, almost everyone is after Black Jack. Can he escape? Blake Shelton, the Spellbreaker. Yes, ma'am. What? Are you a ham? Are you a ham? Leandra Wheel has a bad habit of getting herself in dangerous situations. While hunting Neodamus in her role as Warden of Ixos, Leanna obtains a prophetic spell that provides a glimpse one day into her future. She discovers that she is doomed to murder someone she loves soon, but not who it will be. That's a pretty big problem for a woman who has a shark god for a lover, a hostile empress for an aunt, and a rogue misspelling wizard for her father, and a mother who, especially when arguing with her daughter, can be a real dragon. Leandra's quest to unravel the mystery of the murder she will commit becomes more urgent when her chronic disease flares up and the Aegean archipelago is plagued by natural disasters, demon-worshipping cults, and the fierce political infighting. Everywhere she turns, Leandra finds herself amid intrigue and conflict. It seems her bad habit for getting in dangerous situations is turning into a full-blown addiction. Thunder Lord, Marion Zimmer Bradley, and Deborah Ross. In the distant past, a lost colony ship from Terra crashed on the frigid planet that would become known as Darkover. The survivors developed psychic gifts called Laram, which became the key to political power. They warped these powers of their mind to create ever more disastrous weapons, resulting in the Age of Chaos, a period of uncontrolled warfare. The most dangerous Laram was the mental gift to sense and control devastating lightning storms, which proved decisive in battle when the domain of Aldarian defeated their scathing cousins at an appalling cost to both sides. The Hot Lady. I always think of her as E-Books. Always E. I always pictured her as E-Books. A vulnerable teenager, Eliza Cummings was the target of a predator who cultivated her need for love and approval, until she found the courage to fight back and help put him away. Years later, she works with Devros Security Services and devotes every hour to taking down the very thing that nearly destroyed her. But now the killer has been set free, and Liza knows it's only a matter of time before he comes for her and the people she loves. Hello. Debbie Maycomer. Sweet Tomorrow. 9 months ago, Mark Tyler abruptly left Cedar Cove on a perilous mission to right a wrong from his past. Though Mark finally confessed his love for her, innkeeper Joe Marie Rose is unsure if he's ever coming back. The Rose Harbor Inn barely seems the same without Mark, but Jo Marie can't bear to lose herself in grief once more. Determined to move forward, she begins dating again and finds her companionship when she takes on a boarder who is starting a new chapter herself. Recovering from a twice broken heart, Emily Gaffney, a young teacher, is staying at the inn while she looks for a home of her own. Having given up on marriage, Emily dreams of adopting children someday. She has an eye on one house in particular with room for kids. Although Emily's inquiries about the house are rudely rebuffed, her rocky start with the owner eventually blossoms into a friendship. But the relationship verges on something more. Emily will have to truly rethink what she wants. I've read a couple of these um for the channel. So check them out. I think the one was The Guest, and it just abruptly ended. I was talking to a lady about it. I'm like, the story's really good, but hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? The story's really good, but it just ended. There was no wrap up or conclusion. It just ended. Um, The Invitation, Lucy Foley. Rome, 1953. Hal, an itinerant journalist flailing in the post-war darkness, has come to the Eternal City to seek absolution for the one thing that haunts him. One evening, he finds himself on the steps of a palazzo, walking into a world of privilege and light. Here, on a rooftop above the city, he meets the mysterious Stella. Hall and Stella are from different worlds, but their connection is magnetic. Together, they escape the crowded party and imagine a different life, even if it's just for one night. Yet Stella vanishes all too quickly, and Hal is certain their paths won't cross again. But a year later, they are unexpectedly thrown together after Hal receives an invitation he cannot refuse. An Italian contessa asks him to assist on a trip of a lifetime, acting as a reporter on the tremendous yacht skimming its way through the Italian coast toward Cannes Film Festival, where the famous artists and movie stars are gathered to promote the film. Oh, so that's where Stella's going to end up being. Interesting. So, remember those family vacations? Well, I didn't go on any. I didn't have a dad. Sorry, Casanova. Just a second. Casanova, you got it? Okay, he got it. He couldn't get past Tilly Tish over here. He had to, let's see now. Oops, sorry. Sorry. The Grand Tour. Adam O'Fallon Price. What was that? Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And then there was the other one with Lucia Ball and all the kids. Richard Laser is advancing in years but regressing in life. After a career as a literary novelist that has ground to a halt and landed him in a trailer in Phoenix, Richard is surprised to find sudden success publishing a gritty memoir about his service in Vietnam. Sent on a book tour by his publishing house, Richard encounters his biggest and only fan, an awkward, despondent student named Vance with issues of his own, an absentee father, and a depressed mother and shyness. Soon Vance has volunteered to chauffeur Richard for the rest of the book tour, and the two embark on a disastrous but hilarious cross-country trip, and gaining friendship as they go. I'm thinking about reading this one. This one I may actually read. Jonas G. Well, actually, a few of them I've read. We'll get to it in a minute. 10 years after the 7th Cavalry Massacre, more than 200 Lakota men and women and children at Wounded Knee, J.B. Bennett, a white rancher, and Star, a young Sioux, are murdered in a remote meadow on J.B.'s land. The deaths bring together the scattered members of J.B.'s family, his cunning and hard father, Drum, his estranged wife, Dulcina, and two sons, Cullen and Hayward. As the mystery of these twin deaths unfolds, the history of the dysfunctional Bennetts and their damning secrets are revealed, exposing the conflicted heart of a nation caught between past and future. Know this lady? Philippa Gregory, 3 Sisters, 3 Queens. When Catherine of Aragon is brought to the Tudor court as a young bride, the oldest princess, Margaret, takes her measure. With one look, she knows the other for a rival, an ally appointed, destined with Margaret's younger sister, Mary, to a sisterhood unique in all the world. Three sisters will become queens of England, Scotland, and France. United by family loyalties and affections, the three queens find themselves set against each other. Catherine leads an army to fight the Scots and kills Margaret's husband, James IV of Scotland, but Margaret's boy becomes heir to the Tudor throne when Catherine loses a son. Mary steals the widow Margaret's proposed husband, but Mary is widowed. It is her secret marriage for love that is the envy of the others. August was a hot month. We have talked about this lady before. Dog Days of Summer. Laurie Benison, Live and Let Growl. When a dog lover Melanie, the opportunity to attend the Kentuckian Dog Show cluster is not to be missed. Fortunately, the timing coincides with her spring break from teaching, so she heads for Central Kentucky with her sister-in-law Bernie and Aunt Peg, who's accepted a week-long judging assignment. Once there, Aunt Peg reconnects with an old friend, Ellie Gates Wanamaker, a former standard poodle exhibitor and a member of the well-heeled Kentucky family. Miss Ellie has been out of the dog show world for more than a decade, but when Melanie invites her to a spectate at the Lewis Kennel Club dog show, she's eager to accompany her. Millie's presence at the Expo Center, however, provokes mixed reactions from exhibitors she hasn't seen in years, including some outright animosity. The following day, Millie learns that Miss Ellie has suffered a fatal accident while exercising one of her dogs, and now Meg suspects foul play. Sorry. Yes, ma'am. How's it going? Did I go overboard with these books? August was a good month. I enjoyed myself. This series you have seen on my channel, so you can go watch my reviews of these books on my channel. Murder at Rough Point. Fancies and fashion reporter Emma Cross is sent by the Newport Observer to cover an elite house party at Rough Point, the cottage owned by her distant cousin Frederick Vanderbilt, which has been rented as a retreat for artists. To her surprise, illustrious guests include her estranged bohemian parents, recently returned from Europe, as well as a variety of notable artists, including author Edith Wharton. But one of the artists, an English baronet, is discovered dead at the bottom of a cliff. Rough Point becomes anything but a house of mirth after a second guest is found murdered. No one is above suspicion, including Emma's parents. And she's got to work with Jesse and her boyfriend, her future husband, too. And they get jealous over each other in future books. So watch those on my channel. We have talked about this lady often. Always a cowboy. I am a McKettrick and a Creed lady. If you're Linda Lell Miller, you'll know what I'm talking about. Drake Carson is the quintessential cowboy in charge of the family ranch. He knows the realities of this life, its pleasures and heartbreaks. Lately, managing the wild stallions on his property is wearing him down. When an interfering so-called expert arrives and starts offering her opinion, Drake is worried, but he can't deny the attraction. She stirs something inside. Lucy Hale is researching how wild horses interact with ranch animals and ranchers. Carson Matriarch invites her to stay with the family, but guarantees frequent encounters with Drake, her regularly handsome and decidedly unwelcome son. Luce and Drake are at odds from the beginning, especially when it becomes to the rogue stallion who's stealing the ranch mares. But when Drake believes Luce is in danger, he changes everything for them both. Louise Penny, A Great Reckoning. When an intricate old map is stuffed into the walls of bistro in Three Pines. It is at first seems no more than a curiosity, but the closer villagers look, the stranger it becomes. Given to Armand Gamache as a gift the first day of his new job, the map eventually leads him to shattering secrets. To an old friend and older adversary, it leads the former chief of homicide for the Sûreté du Quebec to places he is afraid to go, but he must. And there he finds 4 younger cats in Surrey Academy and a dead professor, and with the body, a copy of the old odd map. Everywhere Gamesh turns, he sees Amelia Quartet, one of the cadets, tattooed and pierced. Guarded and angry, Amelia is more likely to be found on the other side of the police lineup, and yet she's at the academy, a protege for a murdered professor. I don't know about that. I don't know. A lady that we have seen on this channel, not this series, we've seen her other series, the Molly Murphy series, but we're gonna do these soon. I found some other series that I'm going through first, but this is up next. The Crowned and the Dangerous, a Royal Spiness. Excuse me. With Darcy driving me out of London in a borrowed motor car, I soon discovered that he isn't planning to introduce me to the pleasures of sinning in secret, as I had hoped, but to make me his wife. Of course, there are some quibbles to be dealt with, such as needing a special permission from the king to marry a Roman Catholic and the question of where we might live after the honeymoon. Though he will inherit a title, Darcy is as broke as I am. Even his Irish family castle has been sold to a rich American who now employs Darcy's father as hired hand. Throwing these cares to the wind, nothing could deter us from our mission except perhaps a murder. And that her future father-in-law has been arrested for it. Am I boring you? How about a hot romance? What do you think? Smoke. You want a hot romance? The Right Kind of Trouble. Shiloh Walker, who is also a vampire person I think of. In the small town of McKay's Treasure, everybody knows that the handsome local Gideon Marshall has been carrying a torch for Maura McKay. It's also no secret that Maura has been rejecting Gideon since forever, but after an attack from a mysterious stranger bent on taking down the McKay family, Maura becomes filled with distrust towards most men. Now she wonders whether she's been wrong about Gideon all along, and if it's not too late to give him a chance. What do you think? Ah, we're gonna be doing this series. I swear it. I keep taking these books out. Early one morning, while shelving books in her library, Minnie stumbles upon a dead body. Authorities identify the woman as an out-of-towner visiting Chilton for her great aunt's funeral. What she was doing on the library after hours is anyone's guess. But Minnie and Eddie are determined to save the librarian's reputation and catch a killer. We are definitely going to be reading these at some point. Finding her way home. Falling for the single dad. After 15 years away, Dr. Caroline Dewar is nervous about returning to her hometown. The veterinarian might be able to save stranded sea turtles, but she can't convince her dad of her good intentions. And when Caroline meets daring Izzy Clark, she encounters a similar suspicion from the young girl's father. Former Coast Guard Commander Weston Clark had his life upended by Izzy's mother. She won't go through the same pain again, but Izzy isn't the only one tumbling head over heels for the enigmatic Caroline. And if she can release the pain of the past, she might just be the missing piece Western had for his daughter might be searching for. Sarah McLean, A Scot in the Dark. Lily, Miss Lillian Hargrove has lived much of her life alone in a gilded cage, longing for love and companionship. When an artist offers her pretty promise and begs her to pose for a scandalous portrait, Lily doesn't hesitate until the lying libertine leaves her in disgrace. With the painting now public, Lily has no choice but to turn to the one man who might save her from ruin. Highland devil turned half-hearted duke. The Duke of Warwick loathes all things English, none more so than the aristocracy. It does not matter that the imposing Scotsman has inherited one of the most vulnerable dukedoms in Britain. He wants nothing to do with it, especially when he discovers that the unwanted title comes with a troublesome ward, one who is far too old and far too beautiful to be his problem. Ah. Arcania Rising. Kelsey Kroll. That whole shelf over there is Miss Kelsey Kroll. When the battle is done, the Emperor unleashes and alienates an army, jeopardizing the future of mankind. But Cece strikes back. The epic clash between them devastates Arcania world and nearly kills Evie, separating from her allies. All hope is lost with Arctic missing and no sign that Jack and Selena have escaped Richter's reach. Evie turns more and more to the darkening lurking inside him. Two Arcania emerge as a game changers, one who could be her salvation, the other her seductive nightmare. The Book of Beloved, Carolyn Haynes, one of my authors. As a young woman widowed by World War I, Razia James is no stranger to ghosts, but when an invitation arrives from Cain House, her uncle's estate in Mobile, Alabama, she is finally ready to cast off the shadows of her past. And what better way to do so than with a grand party in her honor? As aspiring authoress, Razia is eager to soak up more life and immerse herself in dark history that haunts the estate. But the rivalries come to an abrupt end when one of her uncle's guests takes a deadly plunge, and when a ghost from the property's past, a Confederate soldier, reveals himself to Razor, she's more than determined to get the heart of the mysterious deaths that plague Conan House. That sounds awful familiar, like I've read it before. And let's see. The Sapphire Heist. Lauren Blakely. After giving into a fiery night of passion, island, and adventure, Steph Anderson and bounty hunter Jay Carlo are back to square one. With millions in stolen jewels at stake, it's hard for Steph not to question her new partner's true motives, no matter how sexy he might be. Jake is hungry for Sophie, but he can sense her growing mistrust. Can he seduce her to his side? Kim Vogel Sawyer, Guide Me Home. After tragedy leaves its mark on Rebecca Hardin's family, she plans to help her parents and 6 siblings honor her beloved brother's memory and alleviate their poverty by working as a guide in the dangerous cave system. Kentucky's renowned Mammoth Cave presents profitable opportunities for hardworking, capable men. But Rebecca is determined, and if it means presenting herself as him, she's up to the job. She's gonna fake it till she makes it. We just finished a series by her the other day. The Stone Cold or whatever, in the Alaska thing. Betrayals. After Olivia found out she was adopted, not the child of privileged Chicago family as she'd always thought, but of a notorious pair of serial killers, her life exploded. She fled her home, not knowing where to turn, and eventually found refuge in the secluded but oddly welcoming town of Canesville, Illinois. Working with Gabriel Walsh, a fiendishly successful criminal lawyer with links to the town, she discovered the truth about her parents' crimes, an investigation that also revealed the darker forces at work in places that offered her a haven. And what's Gabriel gonna do? Fern Michaels, Crash and Burn. There are connections that go deeper than blood. The women of sisterhood are united by their mission to help those unable to help themselves. But now they've encountered opponents who share a unique bond of their own. The firm of Queen, King, Bishop, and Rook, otherwise known as the Chessmen, have been formidable forces in Washington, D.C. for decades, with a reputation for devious tricks, and sisterhood member Nikki Quinn's new case has made her the prime target. Nikki has agreed to represent Lavina Lambert as she files for divorce from her domineering, greedy husband. Wills Buzz Lambert Buzz, currently Speaker of the House, fears the scandal will usurp his presidential plans and tends to make life extremely difficult for Lavina with the Chessman's help. Aww, why? If you haven't seen Meg and her friends working, her family, her mother's Christmas, you gotta check these out on my channel. We've done quite a few of them. Check it out. The brilliantly funny Donna Andrews delivers another winner in the acclaimed Avian series that mystery readers have come to love. The 20th book in her New York Times bestselling series continues to surprise and delight with the next hilarious adventure featuring Meg Lancelot and all the eccentric characters that make up her world. She's a sculptor, but she's a weather vane type sculptor. Meg is team mom, and Michael is the coach of their twins' youth baseball team, the Caerphilly Eagles. Meg tangles with Biff Brown, the petty, vindictive league head. On opening day, Biff's lookalike brother is found dead in the porta potty at the ball fields. Porta potty is not the place you'll want to pass away. Caller niggers, liar's key. Emma Sharp is suspicious when retired FBI art crime special agent Gordon Wheelock drops by her Boston office and says he's heard rumors about stolen mosaics. Emma, art crime specialist herself, won't discuss the rumors, which involve Oliver York, an unrepentant English art thief, Gordy and Emma's grandfather. Wendell Sharp, a private detective, chased Oliver for a decade. When a shocking death occurs, Emma is drawn into the investigation. Is her uncle guilty or not? Should have just dropped one. Just a sec. If you watch my If Then coming up, we reshelved my shelves. I put all the paperbacks up down yonder. And then we made another thing of paperbacks, and then we put all the hardcovers here. All the hardcovers here. Oh, and here. Dark Carousel, a Carpathian. The moment Charlotte Vintage walks into the club, Tariq Isengard's blood sets on fire. The ancient Carpathian has given up hope for finding his lifebait, but now he will do anything to make Charlotte his. When they see color, when they meet their life mate, they see color for the first time. If you have not watched all 27 plus the 6 Brit FBI Catherine Coulter series, please go check it out. Also, go check out one of my very, very first videos, the Regencies, with the Sherbrooks, the Bridgertons, the Mallorys. So anyways, when Savick and Sherlock are called in to solve a mystery surrounding a close family friend who also happens to run an international conglomerate, they find that danger may be closer to home than they expected. Venus Rasmussen, a powerful society icon, believes someone is poisoning her, and Savick and Sherlock must peel away the layers to uncover who it is. Meanwhile, Special Agent Cam Whitaker leaves Washington for Los Angeles to work with local detective Daniel Montoya and lead the hunt for starlet slasher, a serial killer who cuts the throats of 5 young actresses. We've read this, we've reviewed it, we've talked about it. Go check it out on my channel. We will talk about this lady too. Dragon Mark. We will do all the Dark Hunters. If we want to cry our eyes out. And this is good paper too. This is really good paper. Centuries ago, Ilion has betrayed a dragon made human against his will. then forced to serve humanity as a dragon mount in their army and to fight for them in barbaric wars, even while he hated everything about them. Enslaved and separated from everyone he knew and from his own dragon brothers, he was forced into exile in a fey realm where he lost the only thing he ever really loved. Now he has a chance to regain what's been lost, to have the one thing he covets the most, but only if he gives up his brothers and forsakes the oath he holds most dear. I don't know. If you haven't watched One for the Money, Two for the Dough, Three to Get Deadly, Four Score, High Five, Hot Six, Seven Up, to the nines, Hard Eight, 11 on Top, 12 Sharp. Go watch them all on the D. Louise Book Series channel. Stephanie, Ranger, Stephanie, Joe, Ranger, Joe, Ranger, Joe, Ranger, Joe. It's been out there. And this side is the FBI side. No, this isn't what I'm thinking about. This is a different one. Emerson Knight is introverted, eccentric, and a little to no sense of social etiquette. Good thing he's also brilliant, rich, and some people might say handsome. Or he'd probably be homeless. Riley Moon has just graduated from Harvard Business and Harvard Law. Her aggressive Texas Spitfire attitude has helped her land a dream job as a junior analyst at a mega bank. Blaine Grunwald. At least Riley thought it was her dream job until she's given the assignment of babysitting Emerson Knight. She has another series that I was thinking about that was the FBI thing. And vampires, or used to be vampires. The other series is vampires. Claire Connolly is a sensitive infected with magic when the veil that divides humanity from the world beyond fell. Magic can easily consume and destroy a sensitive, and if Claire's secret is discovered, she'll be locked into the walled district of Devil's Isle along with every other paranormal in the city. Bounty hunter Liam Quim discovered Claire's secret but refused to turn her. Together they saved New Orleans from the resurgence of magic that nearly destroyed it, but now a dangerous cult is on the rise. And it will take the two of them to fix it. And that is the end of August 2016 new releases. What'd you think? My gal pal here fell asleep. Did you find something to read? I found quite a few ones to read. Up. And don't forget September. I wish I had my magazines. I miss my magazines. I miss my Romantic Times book review magazines. Hey, if anybody wants a flashback, I will take requests. If I did a magazine and you want me to read more about it, or you discovered there was an article in one of them, I own 2007, the fall of 2007, September that way, all the way through to July 2016. And don't forget to check out If Then, where we do the Cozy Mystery Retails this week or month, and the Christine Feehans. I wanted to see how many I owned. So we go through all the different ones to see how many I own. So check that out to find the answer to that. And please hit the like and subscribe. Have a good one.